Now you can be whoever the hell you want. And so who do you want to be?
Welcome to the 5 Questions Podcast, where we unlock real estate and business insights one question at a time. Really excited for today's show. First of all, welcome to the 5 Questions Podcast. I am your host, Mario Lamar. And our guest today, she is an international real estate investor, a mindset coach, and a successful entrepreneur. I welcome to the show Billie Aadmi. Thank you
Hi.
for being on the show, Billie.
Thanks for having me, Mario. I'm so excited.
So, Billie, the concept of the podcast is very simple. 5 questions about real estate or business in general, and we get right into it. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. First question. You are a real estate investor, okay? Can you share with us maybe a pivotal moment or a deal that significantly impacted your real estate investing journey?
Well, I want to say that the first thing that really impacted my real estate investing journey was switching my mindset because I was I didn't even consider myself an investor, and I had owned almost about five properties at the time. And I still never considered myself a real estate investor until I went to the multifamily conference and started learning a little bit more about it. I was doing my own mindset training at the time, and when I went through my own breakthrough, I realized that I need to first shift my mindset to actually believe that I am a real estate investor. Because I don't have the belief, nothing else comes after that. So if I believe I'm just someone that owns a few properties, then that's all I am. It's someone that owns a few properties. So if I believed that I'm a real estate investor, I own that. And within a few months after that, I became an international real estate investor. And one of the most pivotal deals that really showed me that I was just getting in my own way was when I went to a networking event and I learned about Tulum. And as you know, I'm a big investor in Tulum now, a big proponent for investing there. And I started asking myself, well, why would I believe that one day I'm going to have a place in Mexico? Why can't that one day be now? What's stopping me? And as I started looking more into it and looking into solutions, as opposed to, what we say, like being here on Victim Island about, well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And all these negativities. Well, what if this could happen? And what if I could be an international real estate investor? What if I could own a beautiful villa in Tulum for me and my children? Well, what if? And so I went that route because I changed my mindset to go that way. And now I own my second property in Tulum. So that was one of the most pivotal deals for me that really I was just getting in my own way. Nobody else was. It was just me.
So basically, it's safe to say that it wasn't a specific deal, but a mindset shift that took you to the next level.
Because
All
it
right.
wasn't the actual property or the real estate deal that was going to make me believe I was a real investor. I had to believe I'm a real estate investor. And then the deals came. You see how it wasn't backwards. I had to believe it first in order for it to happen.
That's great. That's great. Brings us to our second question. Being a mindset coach, what are the most common, maybe mindset barriers that you see with your clients? And how do you help them overcome these barriers?
Well, we all share some core limiting beliefs, and it's usually a combination or one of not good enough, unworthy, unlovable, or powerless. And when it comes to real estate, a lot of us don't believe that we're good enough or that we're smart enough or that we have the ability to actually do the things that we want to do. Oh, that's just for those, the big wigs. That's not for me. That's your own self-limiting belief. And so if we can deal with that first, well, where does that come from? And it usually comes from childhood. Most always comes from childhood. Something happened, a parent yelled at you or a teacher yelled at you and you started believing that you weren't good enough or you weren't smart enough. Like someone at school made you feel dumb and you just started having this root belief that you weren't smart enough. And that carries throughout our life and that creates different strategies that we now use to do our adult life. And what we need to do is what we do with our clients is we undo all that. Let's get rid of those self-limiting beliefs. What were you supposed to learn in that situation that actually created that decision? Well, I was supposed to learn XYZ, and now I can learn that and move past it and now actually rewire my neurology to be like, yeah, I am good enough. That one incident when I was 6 years old does not determine who I am. I can
I
be whoever I
really
want to be.
I really like the fact that it's not because you're in one situation that you cannot change with some help the way you think or the way you view things and go totally in the different directions. This is great information.
Yeah, it's just programming, right? Like if we were brought up in poverty, we have poverty programs. If we were brought up in a wealthy family, we have wealthy programs. That's why a lot of people that are born in poverty stay there because it's those same programs that are running. And that's why we have those, those stories like, Will Smith. He by the way, he's NLP trained. He says that his family never told him it doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you're going. And so if you have that mentality that I'm not going to be sitting here on victim island, well, because, I used to believe this, like because I'm East Indian, because I'm a female, I'm not going to be able to be a strong businesswoman. I'm not going to be able to be a real estate investor because that was for the men. That was the man's job. Except that little voice, which now I know is my higher self, was always saying, like, no, no, that's not you. And I finally started listening to it more. And as we grow older, we call it the midlife awakening. Some people call it a crisis. We call it an awakening. Is you're waking up to who you truly are, not who media or family or society told you were when you were 6 years old.
Hmm,
Now you can be whoever the hell you want. And so who do you want to be? We can undo all that and then rewire it to go towards wherever you want to go.
that's great. Brings us to our third question. Being you have a mindset coach business, you have your real estate business. Um, what are the biggest challenges you face in scaling your different businesses, and how do you overcome it?
Well, it actually is just this. It's having to deal with people's own self-limiting beliefs. And that's why I loved that I get to join both of those worlds, the real estate investing and the mindset. Because people that have known me have seen my transition and seen how I've grown. So I'm my biggest walking testimonial. Once you shift your mindset, you can do anything you want. And so usually when I'm working with people, it's that whole saying, you don't know what you don't know. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand how the unconscious mind works. I didn't. I had no idea. I just knew there was a little voice. I had no idea the power of it. It's the 90% of your brain. So if we can learn to access that 90% where all those resources are, that recipe that we've been given to live our fullest potential in this lifetime, it's all there already. It's just a matter of how can we access it. So when you learn how to access it, i.e. through the unconscious mind, which is why we say that we're bringing the conscious and the unconscious mind in alignment so that they're playing for the same team. So it's not that I want to be a big real estate investor and I want to do this, and then the unconsciously you're saying, "Well, I'm not smart enough, and that's not for me." They're working against each other. So we want to bring them into alignment. So the biggest challenge I have is explaining to people why that's important and how important that is, because consciously they don't know, because it's not, you don't know what you don't know. So it's one of those things like, well, you just have to kind of trust a little bit. And every client I work with, one of the reasons we guarantee our results is because we're dealing with neurology. People don't understand the concept of, well, what does that mean? Well, anytime you have an aha, something you've never thought of before, you just created a new neural pathway. And so we can train your brain to start going different ways. Like I've been going this way my entire life. If we can train it to go this way, then we have to upgrade those programs so that you can upgrade your life. It's like that definition of insanity. You
Yeah.
can't get different results by doing the same thing. We're always updating our phones with these programs. Well, we got to update this too. If we want to get better up here in life, we have to get better up here first, and then it will translate with our results.
So basically, overcoming our own challenges starts within ourselves.
Has to start.
Yeah.
Has to start. And again, this is just a program where, that whole be do have thing. People are always working on, well, I want to have this. I want to have the perfect body. I want to have the perfect relationship. I want to have the perfect business. I want to have the perfect amount of money in my bank account. And then I'll do the things I want to do so I can be the person I want to be. We have to be the person we want to be, i.e., the brain has to believe it and actually live that way. So then we can do the things we want to do. Our behavior actually aligns with our thoughts, and then the having will actually come. The results will
Yeah.
come. We can't do it
Wow.
backwards. We have to do it forward. It's way easier that way.
It sounds easy, but you probably got a great
You know what?
formula
It
that's
actually is. And I got this button because I've heard this so many times. They're like, really, is it that easy? I'm like, yeah, it is. We have this crazy big number. It's 10 to the 10th to the 11th power of neurological connections in our body. That's how many opportunities we have to change our brain. So when people are like, I can't change, I'm like, no, then you're just really, really stubborn because you really have that many opportunities to change.
Wow. Let's move on to question number 4.
Yeah.
Combining those roles, okay? We talked about real estate investor, mindset coach, entrepreneur. Do you have any systems or routines that essentially manages multiple high demand roles, because as an investor, well, you got tenants to manage, you got, property managers to manage. In your mindset coach, you probably have, I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but you have different things to manage. Is there any systems or routines that you do yourself to manage those things effectively?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have decided in my real estate career to do more passive investing, i.e., have my money work for me. As I mentioned, I'm a single mom, so I want the real estate income to be passive income so that it pays the bills. The coaching is my service to the world. And so the money is an exchange of energy, of course. However, that's where the systems really come in, like, having the crms and having, the structure of the business, which I am working on this year, building. And in the meantime, I'm looking for the real estate investments that, your money works for you, you're making money while you sleep. Like, one of the strategies I use is AI day trading. And I'm making money while you sleep. That's the ultimate dream, is having money work for you so that you don't have to trade your dollars for hours. And that's one of the reasons I became a trainer, is because my mentality is, I don't want to just give you a fish so you eat for a day. I want to teach you how to fish so you can eat for life. And that's why I teach people these modalities, as opposed to, I mean, I do work one-on-one, and it's I just want to get to as many people as I can. So if I can teach you how to do these modalities that now you can use for the rest of your life. And I believe they're life skills. Like, I use them with my children. I'm a better mom because of it. I'm still single, but when I'm in a relationship, I'll be a better relationship partner.
I'm
Uh,
sure
you know,
after that, this popular podcast, you're gonna maybe have some invitations.
fine.
So,
Maybe.
so basically, you would say, okay, you use some tools, um, as like CRM, to help you on your day to day, to be effective, maybe with the real estate, even the mindset coach, using AI. You started using that for your day trading. Okay,
Yeah.
so using the tools that are available, maybe on the web or with different platforms, that helps you to be more effective.
Well, I mean, with social media, your reach is like infinite, right? And in today's world, when, I think they're saying is like our attention span is like 3.7 seconds, which is like half of a goldfish now. Like, you have to be providing lots of value, right? And a lot of this type of work, it's about building trust, right? And a lot of my clients that come to me is because they're magnetized to who I am as a person and what I stand for and how I show up in the world. I walk the walk and I talk the talk. So providing a lot of value, that's what people need. And social media is amazing for this. Like, that's why people are doing all these podcasts and people are picking up little bits of information. So the more I do value, and you've seen my social media, I do lots of quick little, tips on, well, hey, just think of this something. Sometimes one
Absolutely.
little shift and your way of thinking can literally change the entire trajectory of your life. That's what happened to me. I met a hypnotherapist and I was like, unconscious mind, what? And it sent me down this path, and here I am. And so it's just learning how to manage your time to provide that value with as much impact as you can.
Right. Now it brings us to question number 5, our last question. And so you use these different tools to be more effective and you keep because you're very, very busy, right? Uh, but how do you stay motivated and how do you continue to push yourself to new heights, in both maybe your personal life, but also your professional life?
That's an easy answer. If you are not motivated when you get up in bed to do the thing that you're doing, it just simply means you're not doing the right thing. Because that is, if you are doing something just to get ahead, then you have to work consciously on that willpower to get up and do it. If it's something like this that feels like it's your passion, it's your mission in life, that's your purpose, your service to the world, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
You know, I love real estate because for one, it helps people live, right? Everybody needs a roof to live under. Mindset, I mean, that's why I was a police officer for almost 20 years, was because I wanted to give back. I wanted to serve. And it never felt like a job until it did. And that's why now I'm shifting, because policing was not fulfilling me the way and I wanted to be fulfilled. So if you're not feeling fulfilled and you're not feeling that drive to get up in the morning to go to work, it just simply means you're not in the right place. And that doesn't mean go quit, right? That just means the universe is saying, if you're not getting this fulfillment, if you're not happy, it's giving you a clue that maybe we should start pivoting and go towards something else and start just exploring. Well, what kind of things? If you would have told me this is what I was going to be doing for a living, is teaching people about their unconscious mind, I would have laughed in your face. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what that means. And now I found it because I explored it. So when things, when people say, well, that kind of resonated with me,
Yeah.
it's because that resonation is about frequency. So something is resonating on that same frequency. That means it's working for you. So go explore it. That's the universe saying, hey, go check that out a little bit. Maybe that's where you're meant to be. So if little things are leading you down a path, that's the universe giving you clues that this is what you're meant to do. Everything serves a purpose. My 20 years of policing has allowed me now, to deal with people's trauma, now to heal it, which is really powerful because I can hold that space. So don't discount what you're doing. You're learning lessons in everything that we're doing, and it's all leading you towards where you're meant to be, as long as you listen to that little voice in your head.
So the lesson here, if it doesn't excite you anymore, you got to start looking for maybe another challenge until, you stay. If you're motivated, like you said, when you get up out of bed, you're on the right track.
Well, we're supposed to always be growing and evolving,
Yeah.
right? If you're not growing, you're decaying. So when you get to that level where you're like, nah, okay, life is just whatever, that means you're starting to decay. That's mean, okay, now it's time to challenge, like you said, challenge yourself and learn to grow, because we're meant to grow. We're meant to evolve. That's what the spirit and the soul is all about. It's
Yeah.
about evolution. And so if you're just plateaued and your life is boring and you're not feeling excited, that means it's time for you to go find something that actually excites you.
Billy, I'm really thankful for the time you gave us today.
Right.
These are 5 quick questions, but I was able to pick your brain, and really thankful for the time you gave us. So thank you for being on the 5 Questions podcast, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Thanks for having me.
Bye bye.
And
Thanks for tuning in to the 5 Questions podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell on our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned for more insights and tips to transform your real estate and business game. See you next time.